Kritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer their respectful obeisance on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shrinvatang swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridyantastoya badrani vidhunoti suhritsatam. Shri Krishna, who is the Paramatma, the super soul within the heart of each living entity, and the benefactor, the truthful devotee, cleanses the heart of material desires of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular hearing of the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, almost all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed. Beloved Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs established as an irrevocable fact. And while we're here waiting for Madhav, why don't we do our Mangalacharana, Srila Prabhupada's Mangalacharana, the Bhagavad Gita, and offer obeisances to all the great personalities, and especially the gurus in our life who open our darkened eyes, the torchlight of knowledge, moving blindness. As a doctor, an expert doctor, will remove the cataracts from our eyes. So,
Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gramayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savayutam Parijana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine.
very nice prayer, Namaste. Telling he's kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya and delivering the Western countries, Paschatya. Paschatya Desh. He's Tarine. He's delivering the Western lands. So thank goodness for Srila Prabhupada delivering us, because we'll have no shot. We'd have not a shot in hell to receive any thorough enlightenment in this age. I mean, the Western religions, they give some form of enlightenment. Yes, this is true, but it's nothing in comparison to the gift that Srila Prabhupada gave. And for us to have this opportunity is just incredible, actually. So really, so grateful for Srila Prabhupada, and so grateful that we get to read his books. So my obeisance is to him. My obeisance is to my Diksha spiritual master, to many Shiksha gurus who have been helping me along the way, and all of the Vaishnavas past, present, and future, and even online, and especially here today. Obeisances. Actually, I had a really interesting thing. Someone who was listening to the class yesterday, and we had met her, but she mostly associated with my wife, but we met her at the Gitanagari retreat some years ago, actually. And we haven't been there in over a year, because we had Abhiram. But anyway, yeah, she was asking me questions. She was, I guess, intrigued by the Bhagavatam class and asked me questions yesterday. And I was just kind of shocked. I'm like, wow, people do sometimes listen, online. But, whatever is happening, there's sometimes the ability to, the scope for helping someone. And who knows, maybe many people are listening, they just don't voice out, Maybe probably not too many, but probably, maybe more than one person, maybe more than here is listening. So anyhow, but it was nice because it gave me a realization that this service has the potential to, help people even beyond just who's in the room. So, yeah. All right, where are we? We were talking a lot about the proper leaders, proper rulership, how the unqualified laborer class has seized power in every realm of Kali Yuga, and then they make all kinds of mistakes, and they have no proper self-control on how to lead, and they do all kinds of horrible, terrible things. And one of the symptoms is the abuse of the cow and the bull. These are the animals that represent Mother Earth, abundance, dharma, religious principles, and in Kali Yuga they get abused. And so naturally, actually, a Shudra, who's Kali, dressed like a king, was abusing Mother Earth and Dharma the bull. This was the symbolic view of Maharaj Parikshit, but this was also the literal occurrence between demigods. We, on the other hand, now we'll understand more. So Maharaj Parikshit is not happy. He's not happy at all with such treatment, and he's ready to kill Kali. So he says this: Yastvang Krishne gate durang Saha Gandiva Danvana Shochyo Sya Shochyan Rahasi Praharan Vadham Arhasi Yaha, on account of Tvam, you rogue, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Gate, having gone away, Duram, out of sight, Saha, along with Gandiva, the bow named Gandiva, Danvana, the carrier, Arjuna, Shochya, culprit, Asi, you are considered, Ashocyan, innocent, Rahasi, in a secluded place, Praharan, beating, Vadham, to be killed, Arhasi, deserve. So he's saying, I'm going to look up the word rogue, but rogue, I believe, is someone who acts independently, usually illegally, sneakily. So let's see. Rogue meaning: a person whose behavior one disapproves of, but who is nonetheless likable or attractive. Oh, really? That's what a rogue is? Well, it could be also a person or thing that behaves in an aberrant or unpredictable way, typically with damaging or dangerous effects. So it could be any one of those things. Probably this one. What's aberrant mean? Not conforming to an accepted or usual standard. So acting inappropriately or unpredictably with damaging or dangerous effects. It's exactly what Kali, and the people under the influence of Kali, they have the highway to hell is paved with good intentions. They think they're doing good, they think they're doing fine, but actually they have very dangerous circumstances and effects. So, you rogue, do you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of sight? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. So one you should never do is beat the innocent. well, Prabhupada will probably mention this. In a civilization where God is conspicuously banished, conspicuously, I think it means clearly, standing out, as so to be clearly visible. So in a civilization where God is conspicuously or clearly banished, and there is no devotee warrior like Arjuna, the associates of the age of Kali take advantage of this lawless kingdom and arrange to kill innocent animals, like the cow in secluded slaughterhouses. Such murderers of animals stand to be condemned to death by the order of a pious king like Maharaj Parikshit. For a pious king, the culprit who kills an animal in a secluded place is punishable by the death penalty, exactly like a murderer who kills an innocent child in a secluded place. So this is all, one thing never to be done is killing innocents, women, children, even in modern war etiquette, women and children. In Israel they're a little rough, but modern war etiquette is you leave the women and children alone. Actually, that's never to be done. But what's not understood by the Western world is that animals are also innocent, and they're depending on us. Like everyone in the West would know, if your dog who loves you, he's vulnerable. He loves you, and you could sit there. He's expecting your protection, but if you turn and slice his throat, it's evil. It's horrible, and everyone would condemn it. Oh, you murdered dogs. You're sick. Let's lock you up. But if you do this to cows and pigs and all these other animals, no problem. You're just hungry. That's crazy, actually. But yeah, especially the cow. But any innocent it's unacceptable behavior. And actually, this in ancient times, this was behavior that you were subject to be killed if you had such brutal behavior. Now everyone is actually, subject to be killed, and actually they are being killed. Like the number one cause of death in the Western world is heart disease. Heart disease can exclusively be avoided, 100%. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the vegan population at all, and even in most vegetarians, because vegetarians can over cholesterol in other ways, if they're like super dairy fiends or something like that. But yeah, most vegetarians aren't plagued with heart disease at all. Anyone who doesn't eat meat, fish, or eggs, no chance of heart disease. But very small chance. And if you don't eat meat, fish, eggs, or dairy, then definitely no chance of heart disease.
That's in this life. What you say of karmic.
Oh yeah, many future lifetimes of punishment, and horrible. But even in this life they'll be punished, and they're subject to death. And then many people are dying. And how many people do you know, Western people, heart attack, stroke? That's all from the arteries being clogged. Even my I hope she's not watching. Even my wife's grandmother, Mimi, we love Mimi, but she has a penchant for eating meat, fish, and eggs religiously. And in this lifetime, she already had doctors had to go into her veins and pull out like spider webs worth of clogged arteries, because of just not being aware, but also thinking that which is good, which is not good and is actually sinful, and so sinful results come actually. But this is this is a symptom of Kali Yuga. It's just going to happen in this age. But actually, in the Vedic Aryan times, such a person would be who especially the abusers of the animals, they were to be killed actually. So he's singing, Tvang ba mrinala dabala pader nyuna padacharan Vrisharupena king kaschid Devona padikedayan Tvam, you, va, either Mrinala davala, as white as a lotus, Padai, have 3 legs, Nyuna, being deprived, Pada, on 1 leg, Charan, moving, Vrisha, bull, Rupena, in the form of, Kim, whether, Kashchit, someone, Deva, demigod, Naha, us, Padikedayan, causing grief, Then he, Maharaj Parikshit, asked the bull, "Oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus, or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving on only 1. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of a bull?" At least up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, no one could imagine the wretched conditions of the cow and the bull. Maharaj Parikshit therefore was astonished to see such a horrible scene. He inquired whether the bull was not a demigod, assuming such a wretched condition to indicate the future of the cow and the bull. So this is Yamaraj giving a sign to Maharaj Parikshit and all of us in the Bhagavatam by taking this form. So this is like this. You can come on down, no problem. Hello, good morning. Yes. So, maybe if they can't find their way, just help them find their way. Okay. Najatu Koravendranang Dordanda Parirambite Bhutale Nupatantyasmin Vinate Praninang Shuchaha. Na, not. Jatu, at any time. Kaurava Indranam, of the kings in the Kuru dynasty. Dordanda, strength of arms. Parirambite, protected by. Bhutale, on the surface of the earth. Anupatanti, grieving. Asmin, up till now. Vina, save and accept. Te, you. Praninam, of the living beings. Shuchaha, tears in the eyes. Now for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the king of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. The protection of the lives of both the human beings and the animals is the first and foremost duty of a government. A government must not discriminate in such principles. It is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit was lamenting for the tears in the eyes of the bull, and he was astonished to see such an unprecedented, never before seen thing in his good kingdom. Men and animals were equally protected as far as life was concerned. That is the way in God's kingdom. That's what dominion, in the Bible it says we have dominion over the animals. Dominion means not that you do whatever you want with them. It means you serve them, you protect them. That's what dominion is. You're their protector. Actually, Krishna is our protector. Rakshasyatiti Vishwaso. We accept that Krishna is our protector, and he's always doing our ultimate good. But we also have to be protectors, of Krishna's people, Krishna's other living entities, even things like ants and mice and even cockroaches and things like that. We cannot just be brutally smashing them, killing them. It's unnecessary. It's not moral, actually. We know that the Lord is in the heart of all. That's why Jesus says, first you love God, all your heart, mind, soul, strength, and will, and then you love others. Why? Because God is in the heart of others too. So in the Vedas, they include the animals. Even certain sects of the Vedas, they include even plants. Actually, even certain sects of Judaism, the Essenes, who actually the Dead Sea Scrolls, the most authoritative texts that we still understand of the Bible, are coming from the Essene Jews. The Essene Jews, they were like Brahmins. They took vows of poverty and they lived their lives devoting to the benefiting others. And they didn't eat any they were vegetarian and they were fruitarian, and they didn't at all. They didn't even believe in killing plants. So this is very nice. So that is the way in God's kingdom.
So is that what fruitarian basically is? Because you're taking the fruits of the
Yeah.
plant and you're not destroying the plant?
You're actually helping the plant reproduce. You take the fruit, spread the seed, like birds, where if you uproot something, then you kill it, But, so anyway, not say we should do that. We also offer roots, like at the end of a season. They're going to die anyway. You might as well take them and offer them to the Lord. So we're not like the Jains who are like, no, never ever kill a plant. But at the same time, yeah, to unnecessarily kill and especially cause suffering. I mean, if you put that plant in a corner and decide I'm going to kill that plant, it would be a little disturbing, but it would, the plant won't cry and whine and suffer. But if you take any animal and you put it in the corner and you start to wrestle and kill it, it'll be a horror scene and everyone would protest. What are you doing? How could you do like that? But so this should never be done. But we're talking about it's the government's duty to actually protect from such horrible things. But what do they do instead? They subsidize it. The meat and dairy industry gets some of the largest subsidies from the government, and they do these huge, brutal things. It would actually be very expensive to eat meat. It is actually very expensive to eat meat. But because of it's being so-called public good, it's public horror show, actually. It's horrible that the public is given the opportunity to eat meat at a cheaper rate. But the government subsidizes it. And the meat industries, they're big lobbyists in the government and things like this. It's huge. A huge issue. Left, right, red, blue, doesn't matter. Yes, give us your money.
So is it that because we're not showing mercy by doing that, Mother Nature retaliates and doesn't show mercy to us?
Absolutely.
Like weather and violence and all that.
Yeah. Prabhupada said every war is a result of animal killing. Why would a young man be sent off to war to die? I mean, you even look, barely any vegetarians are in the army, things like that. And meat actually itself, it causes a dullness in the brain and the rise of anger and aggression. It's just anyone who eats these things, they'll experience more of this. Which is why actually Kshatriyas in ancient times, they could eat meat because it actually could be helpful. But they would do it in a regulated way, like the Jews eat kosher meat, or the Muslims eat halal meat. But the Kshatriyas in the Vedic times, they would eat only animals offered in yagya. And in the yagya, that animal was supposed to be promoted. Their soul was to be promoted, and what's left, the body, could be eaten by the Kshatriyas. But never anyone else, really. But anyhow, unacceptable. It's unacceptable behavior. And the government's supporting this is spelling ruin for all of those under the government, where that government will then brutalize the people. And we're seeing that. The quality of life is getting worse and worse all over the world for all of the citizens, and the government is more and more becoming thieves and rogues and, abusing the public. What can be done? Masora bheyatra shucho Vyetute vrishaladbayam Marodir amba badrangte Kalanang mai shastari Ma, do not Sodabeya, O son of Surabhi, Atra, in my kingdom, Shucha, lamentation, Vetu, let there be, Te, your, Rishalat, by the Shudra, Bayam, cause of fear, Ma, do not, Rodhi, cry, Amba, mother cow, Bajram, all good, Te, unto you, Kalanam, of the envious, Mai, while I am living, Shastadi, the ruler, subduer. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And O mother cow, as long as I am living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. Protection of bulls and cows and all other animals can be possible only when there is a state ruled by an executive head like Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit addresses the cow as mother, for he is a cultured, twice-born Kshatriya king. Surabhi is the name of the cows which exist in the spiritual planets and are especially reared by Lord Sri Krishna himself. As men are made after the form and features of the Supreme Lord, so also the cows are made after the form and features of the Surabhi cows in the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, the human society gives all protection to the human being, but there is no law to protect the descendants of Surabhi, who can give all protection to men by supplying the miracle food, milk. And it's amazing. Cows can do anything. Their milk is amazing. It turns grass into like a very abundant foodstuff. You can do so many things. Cheese and butter and milk and yogurt and thousands of preparations. But on top of that, even their stool is the best agricultural fuel. It actually was fire fuel for many thousands of years, for many
Even
cultures.
homes were there.
Yeah, it's antiseptic. It keeps bugs. If you mix it with mud and smear it on the walls, it keeps bugs out of the home. Only cow dung. Everyone else, every other type of dung attracts flies and bugs, but cow dung does not. And then the urine is actually a very potent disinfectant as well. It's just like an amazing animal, and yes, it's the largest source of red meat. People are eating this thing. It's horrible, actually. It's an amazing animal, and it's said it's actually designed from the form of the syrupy cows. We talk about the highest realm of heaven in the Vedic canon is Goloka. That's the world of cows. That's what Goloka is. Krishna is a cow herder. So these beings are so glorious. And that would be a wonderful service. Right now we have many wonderful services. I saw that there's some spray has arrived. Craig must have, again come through for Tulsi, as Tulsi's protector. But hopefully, we're caring for Tulsi so nicely. But hopefully we can expand the project to a point where we can care for some cows. And we can have a community that helps care for the cows. We can get milk. There's so many opportunities. Because these are, these descendants of Surabhi, they're like, they're glorious beings, actually. So we should try to care for them and at least not try to abuse them. I lament, even we go and get raw milk, and I go to get the raw milk, and right next there's the freezer now, the meat locker freezer, which has all the, they didn't used to have, but now they do. They're Mennonites, supposed to be godly people, but just a lower understanding of what God would want. Not to murder, especially not to murder such a glorious animal who's providing so much for the society. But anyhow, what could be done? Except us raising our own cows. That's really all that could be done. We take more responsibility. So as men are made after the form and features of the Supreme Lord, so also the cows are made after the form and features of the Surabhi cows in the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, the human society gives all protection to the human being, but there is no law to protect the descendants of Surabhi, who can give all protection to men by supplying the miracle food milk. But Maharaj Parikshit and the Pandavas were fully conscious of the importance of the cow and bull, and they were prepared to punish the cow killer with all chastisement, including death. There has sometimes been agitation for the protection of the cow, but for want of pious executive heads and suitable laws, the cow and the bull are not given protection. The human society should recognize the importance of the cow and the bull, and thus give all protection to these important animals, following in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit. For protecting the cows in Brahminical culture, the Lord, who is very kind to the cow and the Brahmanas, Go Brahmana Hitaya, will be pleased with us and will bestow upon us real peace. So this is, we chant Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadataya Krishna, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Go Brahmana Hitaya, the cows and the Brahmins are very dear to the Lord. So we should protect them as devotees to please the Lord. In our government, we practically have no hope. Everyone is a mediator running things. Maybe this Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard may. I know Tulsi Gabbard is at very least a vegetarian and would never eat beef, but I don't know about Kash Patel. But that's really the only hope we have, maybe. But I doubt it. And they're under Donald Trump, who himself had a steak company. So, yeah, we're in trouble. We abuse the innocents, glorious beings who could bring all auspiciousness to society, and what can we expect here? What?
Hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell.
Chanting the holy name will help.
Yes, it will definitely help.
Not just us, but the whole world.
Yeah, it will.
Universe, actually.
We'll see if we'll see if we actually sit and chant the holy name, and if we actually prioritize it, because we may not. If we're only a very fortunate soul will understand the importance of the Lord's holy name and the Lord Himself being present in the holy name, and by spreading the Lord via His holy name everywhere, everyone can benefit. But we have lots of work to do as devotees, because it's not yet getting it's not visible that it's getting better. Yes.
Is there a difference? Because I know, especially in Vedic times, dowries of even millions of cows were given and stuff like that. Is there a difference in the cows today, and like beef cattle and stuff? Because they talk about the methane gas and affecting the environment and all.
Yeah. I mean, that's a total farce that cows are causing environmental issues and things. This is like a Bill Gates nonsense plan to try and remove any beneficial thing from the world, to euthanize the world or something. I don't know what the
I
heck.
just was wondering if maybe there's like from Sarabi cows.
Yeah. Well, even now, you may have heard of A2 milk. It's becoming like a popular thing.
What is it?
A2 milk.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but basically the A2 milk is most prominently coming from the Gir cows in India, but a couple even Jersey cows and things like that. They have it's a superior quality of milk with superior health benefits. You probably see in the store. You go to any organic section in the store, you're now seeing A2 milk. A2 milk. So there's a difference actually in, say, Gir cows or Jersey cows even, as compared to what are they called, the Holsteins and things like that, the more beef bred cows. And it's a different actually species, more purely connected to the Surabi cows. Yeah, there is the Gir cows in India, they give the best milk, but the other cows also give okay milk, but the more A2 quality, this chemical they're finding in the milk, the more health properties. But the Gir cows give the most A2 milk, and it's said to come from the hump. The hump is giving this extra, I don't know.
Nutritional value.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it, but said to be like this. So anyhow, there is definitely superior milk and superior species of cows. And actually in the West, the Gir cow, in like almost all the world, all the cows have humps, and they're more closely related to the Gir cow. But in the West, due to our breeding methods, we've kind of bred the benefit out of the cows and have mostly A1 cows instead of A2 producing cows. Due to karma, because we abuse cows, so we get an inferior cow. But actually, the Gir cow is most glorious. Hey, Happy Ram, Sita. So very good. Whenever I see him smiling, I don't know, it just like lights up my heart. So anyhow, let's. Oh, okay. We got to do this. Has to be the last one. So the cow is so important, and actually, as devotees, this would be our evolution as we have a budding community. In this budding community, we have to protect cows eventually. We have to get to the point where we're able to actually protect cows. There's the Krishna Life. They're a nice, young, enthusiastic group in ISKCON, and under Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. And we're very nice. We're very grateful to them, actually. They helped us a ton when we were in Atlanta. Really helped, give us some rigid discipline so that we can actually make more advancement. So I'm very grateful to them. And they're actually, they're selling their temple and their facility in the city to try and start such a project. We'll see, if it works, but that's the goal. That's the vision. So, but us too, we're also trying to do some project here. We should hope that one day we can expand. We actually have this other property. There's some land there. And maybe there's enough acreage where we could house a cow. I don't know. But we should try. What's that? Certain cows. We'd probably have to get one of those Swiss cows with the really woolly cows. Or we could, they have the Jersey cows can actually do it too, but you'd have to give them proper shelter facilities. But you can't just leave them outside,
They have your cows like down south.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can if you had a really nice facility, inside facility, but you can't practically do it. It's almost unheard of.
Well, even in upstate New York, there used to be, I remember all the private, dairies and stuff like that. My friend Janisha actually, Fairbank Farms was on Erie Boulevard, and it was one of the they supplied all the schools with milk and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, dairy can be done. It's just not you're not going to get like a gear cow up here. They're not going to.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that there was, quite a few dairy farms and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
which don't seem to be really as prevalent as they used to be.
No, it's all going to this factory farm model now. And
Or
they're
a big burn dairy facility there that they just get milk from whoever and process it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't afford it. Remember we were in Newburgh getting raw milk from that girl, and she said she couldn't even afford help with her 50 cows.
yeah,
They're just making it impossible
it's
to have
horrible.
your own farm now.
Very small business, small farms. But she's taking care of the cows, but she also eats cows, eats this, and then and wondering why everything is so hard. But this is the case. Hey, you got your tilak on today.
I tried so many times.
Yeah.
Just smearing all over it.
So, Yasya Rashtre Praja Sarva Trasyante Sadvya Sadhubi Tasya Matasya Nashyanti Kirtirayur Bhagogati Esharagyang Paro Dharmo Hyartanam Martini Graha Ata inang vadishyami Bhutadruham asatamam Yasya, one whose, Rashtre, in the state, Praja, living beings, Sarva, one and all, Trasyante, are terrified, Sadvi, O chaste one, Asadhubi, by the miscreants, Tasya, his, Matasya, of the illusion, Nashyanti, vanishes. Kirti, fame. Ayu, duration of life. Bhaga, fortune. Gati, good birth, good rebirth. Esha, these are. Ragyam, of the kings. Pada, superior. Dharma, occupation. He, certainly. Artanam, of the sufferers. Arti, sufferings. Nigraha, subduing. Atta, therefore. Enam, this man, Vadishyami, I shall kill. Bhutadruham, revolter against other living beings. Asattamam, the most wretched. O chaste one, the king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the sufferings of those who suffer. Therefore I must kill this most wretched man, because he is violent against other living beings. So this is interesting. The king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified. So our modern kings, so all their good fortune is going to go away, ruling a civilization under such brutality. One to the animals, but also with the citizens. There's so many warmongers and war hawks out there. Supposedly there's now peace in the Middle East. Doubt it, but you know what, apparently there's peace, but they'll find a way, but anyhow, when there is some disturbance caused by wild animals in a village or town, the police or others take action to kill them. Similarly, it is the duty of the government to kill at once all bad social elements, such as thieves, dacoits, and murderers. The same punishment is also due to animal killers, because the animals of the state are also the praja. Actually, Prabhupada, this is a little heavy, but he's going to really, the death penalty is not so bad, actually. Even we just saw, I think, they politicized it, made it a big deal. But somewhat Ukrainian woman gets stabbed by like a repeat offender of like 14 times or something. How can someone be a repeat offender of 14 times? Like someone, if there was a proper understanding of how to run society, that person would be taken out of society after one or two.
Actually mercy though to have put someone to death who is offended, they're actually forgiven.
Actually, it is. If you understand how karma works, what you do, let's say you murder somebody, what you do will have to be done to you. So if immediately the government takes steps to murder the murderer, then
Paid
they paid their debt immediately. But to make him rot in a cell and then die naturally, and then again the next life he'll have to come back and be murdered, it's actually more harmful to him. Better to just end him. In the ancient times, if you were a thief, they just chopped your hand off.
Right.
So then you would like to steal, no problem. Boom, you won't steal again. Oh, my hand.
Still do it.
Yeah. In certain places, thief, your hand will be chopped off. And then guess what? Probably not a lot of thieves in the area. They're like, oh, I'm going to get my hands chopped off.
Well, because
Yeah.
not just what happened to that person, but others see that you would do that.
Yeah.
So it's going to avoid them from.
Absolutely. But I mean, in really crazy places like California, they're just
They just go right in.
you can just go into the place and you could steal, and then the government will defend you or something, and you just go and just rob the store and leave, and no punishment. It's crazy. But in a really proper government, you just, such a person exists, maybe we should kill him, maybe we should give him a severe punishment, and that's it. And then people will see that, and then they won't do it anymore. I mean, I don't know what's actually being done, but apparently deploying the army to this city or that city and this city. But guess what? It's working. They're giving harsh punishment to crime offenders, and then the people there are not so inclined to do crime. That's how a government should run, actually.
Prabhupada gave
Yeah.
an example of monkey on a stick. You know that example?
No.
You do. He said when the monkeys are coming in, stealing from the farmers in India, and so they would kill one of the monkeys, and they would stick the monkey on a stick, and then the rest of the monkeys wouldn't go there. He says in Bhagavatam.
Oh, yes. I've heard this.
Which is pretty intense.
Yeah.
It just
Actually,
makes
they made one devotee. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but he wrote a book called Monkey on a Stick, and he was an ex-Hare Krishna, and he actually claimed how some of the improper rulership, they did that to devotees who would speak out against the leaders, and this. Yes. But anyway, that's what I got reminded of by a monkey on a stick. But he wrote a book called Monkey on a Stick. So if you Google it, you'll probably find. But anyhow, this is proper leadership, and it actually, it will allow for more a more peaceful and an overall better society. But I mean, not watch. Oh my God. Holy smokes. So anyway, the same punishment is also due to animal killers, because the animals of the state are also the praja. So if you kill animals, guess what? It's coming to you. Even if you support animal killers, it says 6 people participate in the karma of killing an animal. Those who kill the animal, those who serve, those who transport the animal, those who serve the animal out, those who eat the animal, and there's one more, one who cooks the animal as well. All those who participate, they all get the karma.
The Prabhupada said that all occupations are fine except for butchers.
Yes, it's true.
You can be any occupation except for a butcher.
Don't be a butcher. Yes, it's better. If actually in the Vedas it said, I forget what it was, but it was going through. If you're like a brahmachari, a proper brahmachari, better you actually die, because you're in such a good place that once you die, you'll be in a more glorious place. And if you're a prince in this world, because you're so attached to enjoying this world and probably committing so many sinful activities, better you live, because at least you can enjoy while you live. But if he says you're a hunter or a butcher, if you live or you die, it doesn't matter, you're screwed. But if you live in this world, you do these hellish activities, you're going to suffer, and in the next life you'll suffer. But I know a lot. I come from a town. Everyone's so many hunters. Hunter.
Well, hunting is alright for certain kshatriyas to take practice in killing.
Yeah. The hunting was done, trained, but like a profession hunter was seen as a very low and base, type of way to assist your living.
Well, the Kshatriyas did that because
The
they
Kshatriyas did it to train.
But now they don't even fight like that.
Yeah.
They just have guns and they just shoot each other, and it's not like actual fighting.
Yeah. But also the Kshatriyas now, also back then even, Krishna, he's many times, they had to perform penance for that activity.
Well, growing up, my grandfather had a hunting camp
Yeah,
off his property, and I remember going in the barn and there'd be deer hanging.
yeah.
all
Actually, even our new
The
property
camel
we
as well,
have,
yeah.
like, it was a hunting property, and there's even we go in one of the tiny home thing that will turn into a tiny home. There's deer antlers, and yeah, and
Yeah,
actually
this
there were
one's
people
freezer.
on the property. They were using the property to hunt. Actually, they might still be sneaking on there to hunt. We don't even know. We might have to make
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I had-
We don't even know what's
Yeah.
in the freezer.
Yeah. We're afraid to open a freezer in the basement because it probably has something.
Where is this property?
It's in Jordan. It's like 30 minutes away. So anyway, maybe we can put some cows there one day. We'll see what happens. But anyway, praja means one who has taken birth in the state, and this includes both men and animals. Any living being who takes birth in a state has the primary right to live under the protection of the king. The jungle animals are also subject to the king, and they also have a right to live. So what to speak of domestic animals like the cows and the bulls? So no living being should be unduly killed. Never. Not even if you're hungry, or even if you just want to taste them. And there's so much food, you don't need. Me and Madhav are always trying to watch our weight as vegetarians. Oh my God, a surplus of food is happening. So you never have to.
No.
Yeah. You're never gonna starve, that's for sure. Oh, you won't get your protein. Yeah, right. There's too much protein even in vegetarian diet. Anyway, it's just ignorance. Any living being, if he terrifies other living beings, is a most wretched subject, and the king should at once kill such a disturbing element. So anyone who causes fear and suffering to others is wretched, and actually the king should kill him. As the wild.
Unless the king's one of the wretched.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the problem. The kings are wretched in Kali Yuga. But as the wild animal is killed when it creates disturbances, similarly, any man who unnecessarily kills or terrifies the jungle animals or other animals must be punished at once. By the law of the Supreme Lord, all living beings, in whatever shape they may be, are the sons of the Lord, and no one has any right to kill another animal, unless it is so ordered by the codes of natural law. The tiger can kill a lower animal for his subsistence, but a man cannot kill an animal for his subsistence. That is the law of God, who has created the law that a living being subsists by eating another living being. Thus the vegetarians are also living by eating other living beings. Therefore the law is that one should live only by eating specific living beings as ordained by the law of God. The Ishopanishad directs that one should live by the direction of the Lord and not at one's sweet will. A man can subsist on varieties of grains, fruits, and milk ordained by God, and there is no need of animal food, save and except in particular cases. So practically speaking, you never need to be violent to an animal to survive as a human. It's not necessary at all. And now I've spent almost a third of my life or more as not subsisting on animals. And I'm fine. And even you can, also take the milk, of the cow and, but not harm her. Unfortunately, they are harming, which is why at least you should not support the factory farms, at the very least. And then the second thing, we should try to, support our local farmers or something like this. But ultimately, we got to do it ourselves. Well, ultimately, that's what we have to do. But we have to, inspire a community, because cows it takes a village to support cows and all these things. Most of the cows, we just went to Prabhupada village and there's a bunch of gear cows there, not one's giving milk. Why? Because no one can handle, no one has the manpower, and most of them are also old, but no one has the manpower and the determination to actually provide for the cows and also reap the harvest of the cows, in the milking process, and take care of the calves. It takes a lot, actually. Someone has to devote their life to it, maybe a few. But
Also very expensive.
yeah, and it's expensive.
Yeah,
It's a mess in America. We'll see what happens though. Anyway, the harassing living being must at once be caught and put to death, as shown by Maharaj Parikshit. So anyone who molests others, anyone who bothers others, you should get a harsh punishment, including the animals. The people's government, or government by the people, should not allow killing of innocent animals by the sweet will of foolish government men. This is Prabhupada's plea to the American people. They must know the codes of God as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Maharaj Parikshit quotes here that according to the codes of God, the irresponsible king or state executive jeopardizes his good name, duration of life, power and strength, and ultimately his progressive march towards a better life and salvation after death. Such foolish men do not even believe in the existence of a next life. This is the atheistic foolishness that has permeated the secular world. They're so intoxicated with what's called prayas. Prayas is like immediate gratification. Even look at like social media. Everything we do is all about immediate gratification. I want it now. I want it now. We have no patience. Like before, if you want something good, you had to have some patience. You'd put it in the ground. You'd like this, and it would take time, and it would evolve. And next thing you know, you have like if you wanted a tree, and a fruit-bearing tree, it would take years to bear fruits, but then once it does, it comes in abundance. So in anything like that, whether you want to build wealth, whether you want to do it, has to come in incremental steps and patience. But we've so intoxicated with prayas. That's why demons, they do so many things. They do so many abominable things like steal and kill and rape and things because they're just looking at the immediate gratification, like the rapist. Oh, I can maybe get immediate little sex pleasure. Not from really bothering this woman and harassing this woman to the extreme degree, or the murderer, for whatever reason he wants to murder because they've interrupted his gratification or whatever it is. But yeah, it's so foolish not knowing what awaits them. Actually, Arjuna asked Krishna, why do men do sinful activities in this world? Why do men do sinful activities? And he said, it is lust alone, because we're blinded by our lust. We think, if I do this now, I'm not foreseeing the future. Even as something as simple as overeating, atyahara, one of the things that destroys bhakti. Even as something as simple as overeating, you just look, oh my God, I'm going to enjoy now in the prayas. Nom, 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 nom. But then if you overindulge, you're like, oh, the mind is lethargic, and you're like, yeah, and you get fat, and it's a big problem. Even as something, it's all prayas, it's all foolishness, it's all lust actually. But these people, they're so lusty in this age, they can't see. They're walking on a highway to hell, and the road is clear, and as Jesus says in the Bible, it's wide open. Hell is wide open. But there's a very narrow, tight-knit path, a razor's edge, codes of God, codes of Dharma, codes of religion. And if you walk this path, then you can get real auspiciousness. But people are so blinded. Oh, I think I can get it right now. And then they're, on the porn website, or they're on the, this, that, and the other thing, or maybe hookup culture, or this, that, and the other. Gosh, not realizing they're just ruining their lives, actually.
Stealing, cheating. They don't want to be patient.
Yeah, they don't want to earn.
They want the money now,
yes.
They want the ability now, so I'm going to do whatever it takes.
That's right. Yeah, and it's...
What's that commercial? It's my money and I want it.
Yeah. That's like an insurance... I don't know what that is. That's like a credit union commercial. I don't know.
If you have an annuity or something, or an insurance thing or whatever, you can sell it to them and they'll give you the cash.
Yeah.
Or a portion of it.
Yeah, whatever that commercial is. But we're all, we might have to come back and get rebirth if these are the things coming up in the consciousness. So, but anyhow, oh God. So, such foolish men do not even believe in the existence of a next life. And what's to speak of their progressive march towards a better life and salvation after death, due to their actions in this life. So while commenting on this particular verse, we have in our presence the statement of a great modern politician who has recently died and left his will, which discloses his poor fund of knowledge of the codes of God mentioned by Maharaj Parikshit. The politician was, he might be talking about Gandhi. The politician was so ignorant of the codes of God that he writes, I do not believe in any such ceremonies, and to submit to them, even as a matter of form, would be hypocrisy and an attempt to delude ourselves and others. I have no religious sentiment in the matter. I actually don't know who he's talking about. Doesn't believe in any religious ceremonies and submitting to them. And if he were to do it, he feels it would be hypocrisy in an attempt to delude ourselves and others. So anyhow, contrasting these statements of a great politician in the modern age with those of Maharaj Parikshit, we find a vast difference. Maharaj Parikshit was pious according to the scriptural codes, whereas the modern politician goes by his personal belief and sentiments. Yeah, it's so foolish. People just go on, their own self-imposed values, But how do you know you've never made a mistake in your life? How many mistakes do we? We make so many mistakes every day. Yeah, and then we suffer the consequences of our mistakes every day. But you can't think that maybe your values and beliefs might be, unless they're, ordained by a divine authority, that you don't think that they're going to be mistaken. So these people are really, they're so arrogant, and they don't understand how little we know and understand, and that really our opinions aren't so important. But there's so many arrogant people, including myself. Any great man of the material world is after all a conditioned soul. He is bound by his hands and feet by the ropes of material nature, and still the foolish conditioned soul thinks of himself as free to act by his whimsical sentiments. The conclusion is that people in the time of Maharaj Parikshit were happy, and the animals were given proper protection because the executive head was not whimsical or ignorant of God's law. Actually, in fact, he was guided by the Brahmins, who are those who are immersed in understanding God's law. Foolish, faithless creatures try to avoid the existence of the Lord and proclaim themselves secular at the cost of valuable human life. The human life is especially meant for knowing the science of God, but foolish creatures, especially in this age of Kali, instead of knowing God scientifically, make propaganda against religious belief, as well as the existence of God, even though they are always bound by the laws of God, by the symptoms of birth, death, old age, and disease. So the atheist, it said in the Bhagavatam, they meet God at death, when they're forced by God's laws to finally have to surrender.
That's what I said to my friend Janishwar.
Yeah.
When he said that he'd become like an atheist or agnostic. I said, well, death will be the great reveal.
Yeah. But actually the human life, the only thing that distinguishes the human life, the Vedas is saying, is the pursuit of understanding God. Trying to understand the absolute truth of existence. The only thing that makes a human being distinguished from an animal. Animals they eat better than we do. Pigs can eat poop and they're happier than we are preparing a full course feast. Better sleeping arrangement, bears and this, that, and the other, sex arrangements, pigeons can hundreds of times a day, sex life, and eating, sleeping, mating, and defending.
Tigers
And
can eat all the meat they want.
yeah, they could do anything. They've got great facility to take whatever they need. They get super abilities, they can climb trees, they can jump, they can swipe, they can do. The human beings really aren't that, marvelous other than the intellect. The intellect is what makes us, but if we just use the intellect to do animal things, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, we're fools. The only thing that distinguishes the human being is it can actually inquire into the absolute truth. What is this life? Why am I suffering? What is going? The important questions of life. Is there a God? And they can discover, yes, there is a God, and God will reveal to them. But that's why every human society, wherever it goes, there's some type of spiritual or godly belief. It's natural, actually. But these atheists are so foolish, and they're arrogant by their whatever sense gratification, their animal pleasures that they've somehow secured in this life, and then they'd be so bold to speak against God. But anyhow, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki, Jai. All right.
Thank you for a nice class.
Yes, thank you for